Ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk to you today about something that we often overlook in our busy lives, the importance of keeping some parts of your journey to yourself. I know we live in an age where sharing every detail is just a click away, and we often find ourselves compelled to reveal everything. We post, we tweet, we update, but have you ever stopped to think, is this necessary? Is it really important to share every step, every emotion, every detail of our day with the world? There is a beauty in living your life without feeling the need to broadcast it. There is power in keeping some things just for you. We are so used to seeking validation through likes, comments, and views that we forget the most significant approval comes from within. When you stop constantly sharing, you allow yourself to grow in silence. You allow your dreams, your successes, and your struggles to bloom in their own time without the pressure of outside opinions or expectations. You see, some things are sacred. They are your story to tell when you're ready, in your own voice, on your own terms, and there is incredible strength in that quiet space. Let me remind you, just because you can share doesn't mean you should. Think about what truly matters to you, what's important enough to protect, what deserves your energy and attention, rather than the fleeting approval of others. The journey to true peace and self-empowerment often begins when you stop looking for validation and start listening to your own heart. Take time to nurture your goals, your values, your dreams without the noise of the world echoing in the background. Trust that what you're creating doesn't need to be on display for others to see. It's real and meaningful. Remember, the greatest victories aren't always the ones we announce. They're the ones we quietly build with intention and purpose. And when the time is right, we can share them with the world. But until then, guard your dreams, protect your peace, and allow yourself the space to live fully without feeling like you have to tell the world everything. There is a certain power in privacy, a strength that comes from knowing not everything about your life needs to be shared with others. In a world where we are constantly encouraged to share every moment, every detail, it's easy to forget that some parts of your journey are yours alone. We often feel the pressure to keep up with everyone else's highlights, to compare our lives to the polished images others present. But there's real value in holding some things close to the chest. Think about the moments that are truly meaningful to you, those private victories. The deep moments of growth, the quiet realizations. These are the things that shape us, that make us who we are, and they don't need to be shared immediately to be validated. When we share everything too soon, we risk losing the authenticity of those moments. They become influenced by others' opinions, expectations, and judgments. Keeping certain parts of your life to yourself gives them the space to grow without the interference of the outside world. By maintaining some privacy, you create a boundary that protects your inner peace. You allow yourself to experience things fully without feeling the need to perform for an audience. Not everything needs to be shared for it to matter. Sometimes the most powerful moments in life are the ones that are lived in silence, away from the eyes of others. When we embrace privacy, we give ourselves the permission to evolve at our own pace without the pressure to show every step of the journey. In today's world, we're constantly reminded to share, to post, to broadcast every moment of our lives. From every meal we eat to every conversation we have, it feels like there's an expectation to let the world in on every detail. And while there's nothing wrong with sharing happy moments, we must remember that there's also something beautiful about simply living those moments without feeling the need to capture them for an audience. Living in the moment means being fully present without distraction and without the pressure to prove anything to anyone. It's about truly experiencing the now, the sights, the sounds, the feelings without rushing to share it with others. Think about the times when you've had a quiet, meaningful experience, whether it's a peaceful walk in nature, a deep conversation with a loved one, or a quiet moment of reflection. In those moments, there's no need for approval from others, no need for a picture or a post. It's simply about being there, fully immersed in the experience. When we focus too much on sharing, we risk missing out on what's right in front of us. We start living for the reaction we might get rather than the joy of the experience itself. By allowing ourselves to live in the moment, we give ourselves the freedom to just be without having to filter or curate our lives for others. Sometimes the most precious experiences are those that remain private, unspoken, and unshared because they're meant to be felt and remembered, not quantified or measured by likes and comments. There's a deep richness in stepping away from the constant need to broadcast and simply embracing the beauty of the present moment. It's a way of reconnecting with ourselves and with the world around us without distractions. Life becomes more meaningful when we can fully engage in what's happening right now, instead of always planning what to say or share next. When we live in the moment, we reclaim our peace and our sense of authenticity. In the age of social media, it's easy to fall into the trap of seeking validation from external sources. We've all experienced that moment when we post something, whether it's a photo, a thought, or an accomplishment, and we anxiously wait for the likes, comments, or shares to roll in. We begin to equate our self-worth with the attention we receive online, believing that our value is determined by how others perceive us. But here's the truth: no amount of likes, comments, or shares will ever define who you are or the worth of your journey. True validation, the kind that actually matters, comes from within. When we rely on external validation, we give away our power to others. We allow the opinions of strangers, acquaintances, or even close friends to dictate how we feel about ourselves. And as fleeting as those online interactions are, they can have a lasting impact on how we see ourselves, either building us up or tearing us down. But if you look inward for validation, if you learn to trust your own instincts, talents, and decisions, you begin to realize that the most important approval comes from within. Your worth is not dependent on the fleeting opinions of others. It is rooted in the belief you hold in yourself. True self-worth comes from understanding who you are, what you stand for, and where you're headed. It's about trusting that your goals and your dreams matter, even if no one else sees them right away. Validation from within means you don't need to prove your worth to anyone. Your life isn't a performance for others to judge, it's your journey. And the only opinion that truly counts is the one you have about yourself. When you stop seeking constant approval from the outside world, you free yourself from the chains of comparison. You stop measuring your success based on what others think or say. Instead, you begin to celebrate your own achievements, no matter how small, and find fulfillment in knowing that your value is intrinsic. This is the kind of validation that lasts because it's not tied to the ever-changing opinions of others, but to your own inner sense of peace, purpose, and strength. There is a profound beauty in keeping certain aspects of your life sacred. Not everything is meant to be shared or exposed to the world. Some parts of your journey, your personal experiences, your moments of growth, and your deepest emotions deserve to be respected, nurtured, and kept close to your heart. These are the elements that shape you as an individual, the quiet moments that define your path, and they should not be subjected to the gaze of others, especially before they've had time to fully form and evolve. Your experiences, both the joyous and the painful, are unique to you. They are the building blocks of who you are becoming, and they need the space to breathe without the pressure of others' judgments. When you allow yourself to hold these moments sacred, you create a protected space where your emotions can be explored freely and without interruption. Your growth, whether it's personal, emotional, or spiritual, happens in this quiet sanctuary where you can process, reflect, and understand who you truly are without external distractions or expectations. To share everything in real time can sometimes diminish the significance of what you're going through. When you reveal too much too soon, there's the risk of losing the purity of the moment. What you're feeling may become tainted by others' reactions, or your experience might be shaped by the influence of the crowd. But when you choose to keep certain parts of yourself sacred, you allow those experiences to evolve in their own time, in their own way. This gives them the depth and richness they deserve. The beauty of keeping things sacred also lies in the space it creates for vulnerability. It's in those quiet, sacred moments when you allow yourself to fully feel without the need to explain or justify that you come to understand your truest self. These are the experiences that build resilience, wisdom, and compassion. And while you may one day choose to share them, doing so will come from a place of strength and clarity, not from the need for validation or attention. By respecting and nurturing the sacred parts of your journey, you protect your inner world and you allow your soul the time and space it needs to grow into its fullest expression. Some things are simply meant to be lived, not broadcasted, and in keeping them sacred, you honor your own process of becoming. Growth, at its most authentic and profound, often happens in silence. When we are constantly sharing, when we feel the need to broadcast every step of our journey, we risk overshadowing the quiet, steady work that truly shapes us. Growth is not always loud, nor is it something that needs to be displayed for the world to see in real time. In fact, the most powerful transformations occur when we allow ourselves the space to grow in peace, free from the constant noise and pressure of outside expectations. When we choose not to share every moment, we create room for introspection. It's in those silent moments that we find clarity, where we can reflect on our experiences and understand their true significance. Without the weight of needing to impress others or live up to someone else's standards, we give ourselves the freedom to evolve at our own pace. This silence allows us to tune into what truly matters to us rather than getting lost in the opinions and judgments of the outside world. In the quiet, we can shed the layers of self-doubt, comparison, and external expectations that often cloud our true potential. We can focus inwardly, strengthening our sense of purpose, honing our skills, and nourishing our inner selves. When we share too much too soon, we often invite others to weigh in, whether consciously or unconsciously, on our personal journey. Their opinions, whether positive or negative, can shift our focus, pulling us away from our true path. But when we cultivate growth in silence, we remain rooted in our own truth, undisturbed by outside influences. Growing in silence doesn't mean hiding or suppressing our progress. It simply means that we allow the growth to happen organically, without the need to seek validation or approval. We trust in the process, knowing that growth is not always visible to others in the moment. Sometimes the most profound changes happen when no one is watching, and that's okay. The journey is about you, not about performing for an audience. In this silence, we gain strength. The quiet is where we build resilience, where we learn the lessons that will guide us in the future. And when we are finally ready to share, we do so from a place of certainty, from a deep knowing that our growth is real, and that it came not from seeking attention, but from a place of peace and self-awareness. The beauty of growth in silence is that it allows you to flourish on your own terms, at your own rhythm, without being swayed by the world around you. In a world that constantly tells us where to focus our attention, what to value, and what to strive for, it's easy to lose sight of what truly matters to you. We are often pulled in many directions by societal pressures, by the opinions of others, by the ever-present need to compare ourselves to the lives and achievements of those around us. But the key to living authentically lies in learning to discern what truly matters to you and what is worth your energy, your time, and your focus. What are the things that light you up, that stir your soul, that give your life meaning? Those are the things that deserve your attention. Too often, we spend our energy on things that are expected of us or on what others believe is important. We seek approval from friends, family, colleagues, or even strangers online. We seek validation in achievements or possessions, believing that these things will fill the emptiness inside. But when you learn to tune out the noise and truly listen to yourself, you begin to understand that approval from others is fleeting, while personal fulfillment is lasting. Understanding what matters requires the courage to let go of what doesn't serve you. This might mean saying no to opportunities, relationships, or distractions that take away from your focus on your true goals. It's not about rejecting others or ignoring the needs around you. It's about prioritizing your own values and aligning your actions with them. You may find that not everything you thought was important actually aligns with who you are or where you want to go. And that's okay. The process of discernment is a journey, one that evolves over time as you continue to learn more about yourself. When you seek approval from others, you give away your power. You let their expectations define your choices, your path, and your sense of worth. But when you focus on what matters to you, what truly resonates with your heart, you begin to take ownership of your life. You stop living for the approval of others and start living for yourself. This doesn't mean you ignore the advice of others or dismiss their love and support. It simply means that you no longer let their opinions dictate your actions or your worth. True fulfillment comes when you invest your energy in the things that bring you peace, joy, and purpose. Whether it's your work, your relationships, your passions, or your personal growth, these are the things that deserve your focus. And when you prioritize these elements, you'll find that the approval you once sought from others becomes less important. You'll no longer need to measure your worth by outside standards because you'll be living according to your own. Understanding what matters to you allows you to build a life that feels aligned with your true self. It frees you from the constant chase for external validation and empowers you to move forward with confidence and clarity. When you know what matters, you stop chasing after what doesn't, and you focus your energy on what will truly bring you joy and fulfillment. In a world where every moment is a potential post and every thought a potential tweet, it's easy to forget that not everything in our lives needs to be shared. With the rise of social media and constant digital communication, we often feel the impulse to share every experience, every emotion, and every triumph. But just because we can share doesn't mean we should. The act of sharing has become almost automatic, so much so that we sometimes forget the significance of the choice itself. It's important to recognize that what we choose to reveal is not just a reflection of our lives, but also a reflection of our values, our privacy, and our inner world. There's a beauty in being selective about what we share, in understanding that some things are meant to be experienced in their full richness, not filtered through a screen or curated for an audience. Every moment doesn't need to be broadcasted to the world. There's a certain sanctity in keeping some things to yourself, your personal reflections, your private victories, the intimate moments of growth that don't need anyone else's approval or acknowledgement to be meaningful. The more selective we are about what we share, the more we preserve the depth and authenticity of our experiences. Sometimes the most profound moments in life are the ones that remain unseen by others, and that's okay. These moments hold their power not in how they're perceived by the outside world, but in the impact they have on us internally. When we share too much too often, we risk losing the sense of intimacy and meaning that those experiences hold. The validation we seek from others can sometimes overshadow the true value of those moments. The rush for likes, comments, and attention can dilute the personal significance of what we've just experienced. By being selective, we give ourselves the space to honor the true value of our experiences without the pressure of sharing them immediately or performing for others. Moreover, being mindful of what we share also allows us to protect our own energy. Not everything needs to be exposed to the judgment of others, especially when we are still in the process of figuring it out ourselves. We may find that certain aspects of our lives, particularly those in the early stages of growth, require time and space to fully take shape. Sharing too early can invite unnecessary scrutiny or opinions that can derail us from our own journey. When we're intentional about what we reveal, we safeguard our peace and keep our focus on the things that truly matter to us. Choosing what to share is an act of self-respect. It's about drawing boundaries and understanding that some parts of your life are sacred, deserving of privacy and reflection. When we take the time to choose what we share thoughtfully, we preserve the integrity of our experiences and protect the authenticity of who we are. Sharing should come from a place of intention, not obligation. It should reflect our true desires, not the pressure to conform to what others expect. In a world where distractions are endless and the voices around us are constantly calling for our attention, it's easy to forget the importance of nurturing what lies within. Building from within means focusing on what truly matters to you, your goals, your dreams, and your values, and allowing them to grow in their own time without the interference of outside noise. It's about giving yourself the space to develop your inner vision without the pressure to rush or to compete with others. When we talk about building from within, we are acknowledging the power of quiet growth. The most lasting and meaningful changes in our lives often happen in moments of solitude and reflection. It's when we take the time to focus on our inner world that we begin to align our actions with our true selves. In a society that constantly encourages us to share, compare, and perform, there is something incredibly powerful about choosing to build quietly in peace. It's the understanding that the foundation of a strong and fulfilling life is laid not by the approval of others, but by the work we do in private with intention and care. The pursuit of our goals should be driven by our own desires, not by the noise of external expectations or the pressure to live up to the image others have of us. Too often we find ourselves swayed by what others are doing, measuring our progress against someone else's timeline or success. But when we focus on nurturing our dreams quietly, we give ourselves the freedom to grow at our own pace, to make mistakes, to adjust, and to evolve. Our dreams are personal, and they deserve to be protected and nurtured without being influenced by the opinions and judgments of others. This quiet growth also allows us to develop a deeper connection with ourselves. When we stop looking outward for validation, we can truly begin to hear our own voice, to trust our instincts, and to believe in the direction we are headed. Building from within is about trusting the process even when it feels uncertain or slow. It's about having the courage to keep moving forward, even when the world around you is focused on instant results and immediate gratification. The more we nurture our values and goals from within, the more grounded we become. We stop chasing fleeting trends or external markers of success and instead focus on what truly aligns with our beliefs. This inner clarity becomes the compass that guides our actions, and over time we begin to see that the things we've nurtured quietly, without fanfare, are the things that bring us the deepest sense of fulfillment. When we build from within, we are not simply working toward external success, we are developing a life that is true to who we are. We create something solid, something rooted in our own truth, and something that doesn't need to be validated by others. The peace and strength that come from this process are unmatched because it's a growth that happens in harmony with who we are, not in response to the expectations placed on us. It's the quiet confidence that comes from knowing that the work you're doing, though unseen by others, matters because it's building the life you want to live. True strength is often quiet, subtle, and rooted in the way we choose to live our lives with intention. In a world that constantly bombards us with opinions, judgments, and external pressures, it can be easy to believe that strength comes from outward displays, accomplishments that are acknowledged by others or approval from those around us. But in reality, the strongest people are often the ones who do not seek validation from the outside world. Instead, they build their strength from within, focusing on living authentically, protecting their privacy, and staying grounded in their own values and beliefs. When you choose to protect your privacy, you create space for your inner strength to grow. Privacy isn't about secrecy or hiding who you are, it's about preserving your personal journey and your peace. By not constantly exposing every part of your life to the scrutiny of others, you allow yourself the freedom to explore, to make mistakes, and to grow without the weight of external expectations. This autonomy gives you the power to shape your own path without being influenced by the opinions or pressures of others. Living with intention further deepens this strength. When you are intentional about your actions, about how you spend your time and energy, you create a life that is purposeful and fulfilling. You stop living for the approval of others or reacting to the demands of society. Instead, you live according to your own beliefs, focusing on what aligns with your core values and goals. This gives you the confidence to move forward, regardless of the noise around you. You no longer need the constant reassurance of others because your confidence comes from within, from knowing that you are living authentically. The strength that comes from within is not fragile. It's built on the foundation of self-awareness and self-respect. When you are clear about who you are and what matters to you, you begin to trust your decisions, knowing they are aligned with your true self. This confidence is unwavering because it is not dependent on others' approval. It's grounded in the knowledge that you are enough as you are, and you do not need to seek validation from anyone outside yourself. In a world that often values outward achievements and external success, building internal strength gives you the resilience to withstand challenges and setbacks. You don't rely on the validation of others to tell you you're on the right path. Your inner strength becomes the guiding force that keeps you moving forward, even when the world around you is uncertain or full of distractions. Protecting your privacy, nurturing your personal growth, and living with intention are all part of the process of cultivating a strength that can't be shaken by the opinions of others. True confidence is the result of living your life on your terms without the need for external recognition. When you learn to trust yourself, to protect your inner peace, and to live intentionally, you build a foundation of strength that no one can take away from you. This strength doesn't rely on others' approval, likes, or comments. It comes from the quiet, unwavering belief that you are enough just as you are. It's a strength that is anchored in your authenticity, in your ability to live in alignment with your values, and in the peace that comes from knowing your worth is not determined by others. In our fast-paced world, there's often pressure to share our successes the moment they happen. The excitement of an achievement, whether it's personal or professional, can make us want to shout it from the rooftops, to tell everyone we know, and to seek recognition. However, there's a certain grace and power in waiting, in allowing your accomplishments to unfold in their own time. Great achievements do not need to be rushed into the public eye. They are often more meaningful when they are shared from a place of reflection, after they have had the time to settle and fully take root in your life. The rush to announce accomplishments immediately often comes from a desire for validation, to let others know that we've succeeded, that we've reached a milestone. But true fulfillment comes not from external recognition, but from the satisfaction of knowing that you've done something significant, that you've reached a goal, and that your efforts have paid off. The beauty of sharing something when it's truly ready is that it's shared from a place of pride and confidence, not from a need for approval. It allows you to stand in the fullness of your accomplishment without the pressure of needing others to affirm your worth. When you allow your success to unfold naturally, you give it room to breathe. You give yourself time to reflect on the journey, to appreciate the hard work that went into achieving it, and to recognize the personal growth that came with the process. Often the most powerful stories are those that are told after the dust has settled, when we can look back on the full arc of the experience and share the lessons learned along the way. The timing of sharing allows the success to be framed in a way that adds depth and meaning, rather than just a snapshot of the moment. There's also a quiet strength in sharing only when you're truly ready. When you don't feel the need to rush or compete, you protect the sanctity of your achievement. You don't allow others' expectations or opinions to dictate when or how you should share your success. Instead, you choose the right time, when it feels natural and when you're at peace with your journey. This approach fosters a sense of control over your narrative. You're not driven by the need to prove anything to anyone, but rather you're sharing because it feels right and meaningful to you. Great accomplishments often require time and space to be fully appreciated, both by yourself and by others. When you wait for the right moment to share, you ensure that your success is honored in its truest form. You may find that the impact of your achievement is even greater when you've given it time to resonate within yourself first, allowing it to settle into your life before presenting it to the world. Sharing when you're ready also means sharing with purpose. You no longer feel the need to post for the sake of posting, but instead, you share because you know that your story, your accomplishment, or your journey can inspire, encourage, or resonate with others. When the moment feels right, your share will be more powerful, more authentic, and more meaningful. It will be a reflection of your own pride and confidence, and others will feel the depth of your journey.